These are some of my favorite YouTubers, and I'm a complete nobody. And today, I will be trying to convince them to collab with me despite that. These people inspired me to get started, and I always thought that I need a massive following to even dream of ever working with them. But then, I got sponsored with only 75 subscribers, which inspired me to just fuck around and find out if it's really that impossible. Here's my plan. Step 1. Find an efficient way to contact them. DMs won't carry. We've all been there, we've all done it, we all heard crickets. Step 2. Find an interesting ideas to collab on. I obviously can't just show up and be like, hey, do you wanna collab? Yeah, sure. Do you have any ideas? I was kind of hoping that you would have some. Step 3. Shoot my shot. Step 4. Special maneuvers. This is why I call anything I can find to help me get their attention on this. And finally, step 5. Wait and pray that at least one of them says yes. So, after carefully evaluating my options, especially considering the fact that content creators usually get a ton of messages every day, I've reached the conclusion that I should focus for now on contacting their managers instead. I think that managing collabs and things like that is part of their job, so I feel like this is what's gonna give me the highest chance of actually hearing back from them. So I spent a couple of hours looking for ways to contact them. Unfortunately, I did not find direct emails to all of them, but I still got a decent amount of leads to follow, so I feel like I can safely move on to step number 2 for now. Finding collab ideas turned out to be a much harder job than I first anticipated. Coming up with ideas that specifically fit the style of each YouTuber is definitely a piece of work. I just spent 3 to 4 hours brainstorming and doing research just to come up with one interesting idea for each one of them. I'm starting to feel like I'm running out of brain juice, so I will move on for now to drafting some emails before getting back to it later to see if I can find some more. I just finished drafting and sending all of the emails, and I honestly did not think that it would take this long. But I can finally move on to step number 4, and it's time for some special maneuvers. So, before jumping into what I did so far, I wanted to point out that while I did say that this step is all about finding anything that could help me get their attention, it is still of course within the limits of what's reasonable and respectful, because that's my number 1 priority. So with that being said, the first thing I found was that I was eligible to a LinkedIn premium trial. So I naturally picked the best option I could, which I could have never afforded otherwise, and I messaged anyone I could find there. I previously said that DMing people this big on social media for these kind of projects is probably useless, but if there was any exception to that rule, it would definitely be LinkedIn. After that, I made sure to keep up with their content on a day-to-day basis and interacted with it naturally and genuinely. As an example, there was this video by Leon that really resonated with me, so I left a comment expressing how I felt about it, how I feel about his content, and asked him if he would be available to chat. The last thing I have is something that I would use as a last resort at the end of the video if nobody answers me. So the only thing I have left to do now is wait, pray, and hope for the best. So it's been around a week and I haven't heard back from anybody yet, but something did happen. I came across this content creator named Hunter Williams, and as you can see from the red lines, I absolutely love his content. Naturally, I've decided to reach out to him too, and I managed to find a couple of ideas that we could collab on based on his content. So I sent him an email and DM'd him on IG because he doesn't have as massive of an audience there as the others, so there's an actual chance that he might see it. Other than that, I continued leaving comments like these whenever it was appropriate, and yeah, I still have a week before calling it a failure, so I hope that I will get some good news. So this experiment is nearing its end, which means that it's time for my last resort. A while back when I hit 100 subscribers, I made this tweet in which I thanked all the people who helped me, supported me, and inspired me, and Max Foch was one of them. He actually liked that tweet, which means that he saw it. So my last resort will be a simple tweet in which I will mention all the content creators I reached out to ask them for a collab just in case they didn't see my message. I will give it until I finish editing whatever I recorded so far for this video before calling it a win or a failure, even though at least from my perspective this is already a massive win. But I will not get ahead of myself and will leave why that is until later on. Well, that didn't work, But remember, you miss all the shots you don't take, and as I said before, this was still a massive win for me. I might not have been able to convince my favorite YouTubers to collab with me, but I did manage to make my 18 years old self proud. As I mentioned in all the emails that I sent them, I've always let my anxiety stop me from introducing myself to people that I look up to, people that I would have loved to work with and learn from. And thanks to recent personal efforts and ultimately this video, I finally feel like I overcame that. But hey, if you still want to see me succeed at doing something kind of cool with the low subscribers count, you should definitely check out this video in which I did manage to get sponsored with only 75. Thank you all for watching and take care.